she's here to present her also, I think, PhD research. So I invite you here.
Okay, hello everyone, at least whoever remained. I'm here to talk about Istanbul Walkabouts, which is a performative, participatory and projective spin-off of doctoral research, which I started a long time ago. This is an urban, in a nutshell, urban development of Istanbul. In the first picture you see the historical city, which remains more or less for 8,000 years the same until early 20th century. But with the construction of two major highways, the city expanded, and here you see the northern territories of the city, which quite remained more or less the same. And Istanbul Walkabouts focus on these areas. These areas are the dark areas in a composite night image of the city, the terra incognita, the beautiful but distant places that people don't go that very often. And this invisibility makes them open for manipulation and exploitation. This is why currently all these mega-scale, state-led, neoliberal and neo-Islamist operations are taking place in this area. Northern Marmara Highway is also nestled here, you see here in red. And it's of course not only a piece of utilitarian infrastructure, that crosses the Bosphorus and connects Asia to Europe over the Bosphorus for the third time, but it's also a spine to forthcoming mega projects. Third airport, claiming to be world's largest. New Istanbul, an enclave city with 3 million people, that's bigger than Slovenia. And Kanal Istanbul, that's an artificial strait that will divide the city in 3 parts. And Istanbul Walkabouts actually walks along and around the route of this highway to explore these areas and record them and investigate them and kind of like see what's happening. Of course, in an absence of urban theory that is embedded with building practices or any civic engagement, and unreliability of law and impossibility of taking direct action in a state of emergency like Turkey today, walking kind of still stands as an alternative and probable way to investigate and learn about these areas, at least for now. And these walks actually started as kind of solitary wanderings and continued with few interested companions, but eventually became curated walks done with up to 250 participants in these areas. And after around 235 kilometers of walking in these varying routes with different modes of capturing and recording, within multiple encounters and changing physical, seasonal, climatic and environmental factors, they created their own methodology of investigating these areas. And it's really important to mention that this research actually originated due to the dark political ecology of Turkey that is going on right now. And it started as a personal resistance and critique of an architect and researcher who got really highly preoccupied with what's going on in this area and started to walk on the route of the highway in a state of emergency and landscape of crisis to record and investigate these areas before they transform irreversibly. That's me. And to conclude, the end product of this research is to actually continue these curated walks, because they actually kind of open discussion and discourse on questions like what can we learn about cities by walking through them, what can we perceive and experience through walking that we cannot grasp through maps or otherwise, and how can we theorize and practice walking so that we can create resistance and some kind of action about these all future urbanisms taking place within these neoliberal operations. And at this this point, I really believe that the best way to extend this personal resistance and critique is to share it with people from different backgrounds on different platforms. That's why I would like to thank Future Architecture Platform for letting me make this super quick presentation, and thank you all for listening. I have cards you can take. Please feel free to take, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you.